Hi everyone, this is Rich with the Married Life of Rich and Kevin. So today I'm going to be talking about my coming out story. I know we have brought this up before that I'm going to do mine and then Kevin's going to do his. Obviously we have different experiences in that our coming out story. But first I want to make sure that for one I want to thank all the people that came out before me. I didn't come out until later in life. There was so much more acceptance and stuff that I didn't have to deal with that other people did in my age group or before me, and I want to give you thanks for that. And another thing is I was previously married. I have two daughters, two wonderful, beautiful daughters, and I want to make sure that to say that if I say something off cuff or I don't mean to offend anyone, I just mean to tell my story. I love my children. They're precious, they're the most precious thing to me in my life. And then also I'm going to try to do this without crying. I'm not doing a very good job at the start, am I? So anyways, I grew up in a small town. I knew at a very early age, I'm talking like second, third grade age group, I knew at a very early age that I was gay. Didn't know what gay really meant, didn't know that what that all entails. I have 5 brothers and 1 sister. So I have a lot of male people in my household that are not gay, sorry here. And so I felt like I had to be like one of the guys. You know, they had girlfriends, I needed a girlfriend. They didn't seem to be attracted to boys, so I tried my best not to be attracted to boys. But I knew at a very early age. But also I knew to try my best to hide it as much as possible. You had, especially growing up in a small town, elementary was probably the worst for me. We'd be called names, just your typical names, you know what they are, queer, fag, things like that, homo. And most of them were kids, they didn't know, it's just kids being kids. That's what I took it at, now as older. Because, a lot of those kids in junior high and high school, and now if I ever go back to the small town, nobody calls me those things. And they didn't in junior high and high school. So I would just put it down as, silly kids type of thing nowadays. But it hurt. It hurt a lot to be called those names and always feeling like, how did they know? How did they know? What am I doing wrong? Do I need to act more straight? Do I need to go into sports? Do I need to do whatever? Because it was a bad thing. That's what I felt like. It was a bad thing to be gay. And I really didn't know personally any other gay people. There was always comments about people who was gay and things, but they were never ever nice comments. And so you just take it as it's a bad thing. So, but anyways, like I said, in junior high, life got a little easier. In high school, life got even easier. But found early on in my high school year, started dating a young lady, dated her for all the way through high school and in college, and eventually married her. We dated for 5 years straight, and then we got married and had a wonderful life. I really felt that, as long as I have, you always think, I got this under control. I got this. And as you get older, you realize you don't. But also, like if looking back, I think it's like I was in a huge room, or you want to say a closet, whatever you want to make it up to be. I was in a huge room when I was younger, and as I got older, that room just kept getting smaller and smaller and smaller until finally you had to come out, or that room was going to kill you. That's the closure, it was going to suffocate you. And so I came out. It was horrible, it was hard, it was painful. Because like I said, I was in love with a woman. I mean, I loved her. I mean, I truly did. I tried my best that I can do. And I had two wonderful, beautiful children. And they weren't that old, I mean, when I came out. So I didn't want to break the family. That was so crushing to me to know that I'm going to break their hearts. But, so anyways, the first person I told was my mom. And so, being a 40-year-old man, calling my mother and telling her, Mom, and I'm bawling. I'm not crying. I'm not, little tears like I'm doing right now. I am bawling. And she said, what's wrong? And I said, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to disappoint you. I said, but I'm gay. And you just have to know my mom. So what I'm going to say is exactly the words she said. She said, oh hell, you're not gay. You just never had good pussy. And that's just my mom. That's just how I know that's just her. I love her to death, but she is, she doesn't mix words. But anyways, after talking to her and everything, as time gone by, well, I'm kind of skipping ahead. So anyways, I told her. And so then I came out to my now ex-wife, but I don't want to get into everything that happened, but anyways, I ended up staying with the ex-wife, and at that time we were still married, the ex-wife and the two girls. And I was content. I knew I was gay. I admitted that I was gay. It was how I labeled it, and that's just me. How I labeled it is I was now in a relationship of don't ask, don't tell. Don't say anything more about gay things, and don't, kind of got pulled a little bit back in that closet. But I was able to stay there, help out with my daughters, and was able to still have the family. So we did this for several years. Then it got to a point that it came up again, and I admitted to it. Yes, I'm gay. And so then my ex-wife at that time said, "You can't stay here anymore. I can't allow you to be in the house." And the church we were going to, I mentioned this in previous videos. It was a sin to be gay. It's not, you're going to go to hell. And that's the verbiage I was getting from family, well, not my family members, but my ex-wife's family members, and her and stuff, and that was stuff that was being bled into my children. But also the church that we were going to, backed it. So, and they were young, but I couldn't do the hide and deny anymore. It is what it is. So I moved out and started my journey of being an out gay man, and it was very, very hard because, like I said, I had at that time 2 cats, a dog, 2 children, an ex-wife, a house, lots of noise, lots of stuff going on, and to be moved into an apartment where it's silent. There's nothing, no noise, and it was crushing. But like I said, I needed to continue this journey. I needed to continue to be who I am. At the start, it was very difficult for me and my ex-wife to even to communicate. So really, we stopped. We text. We pretty much don't ever communicate with one another other than that. And it breaks my heart because, like I tell my husband now, Kevin, that I don't know, in my mind, I thought no matter what, we have a great love and a friendship for one another, that we could always been friends. We could always work through something, work through whatever issue was. But it didn't happen that way. And maybe I was just being silly, thinking that it could. But anyways, I got myself involved in the church, the new church, Life Journey, that I go to attend, and so that got me obviously going to the 101, 102 classes, meeting Kevin. I never was one that I didn't need a lot of a crazy experience. I guess coming out, a lot of men or women, I don't know, but they want to, or they need to venture into a lot of stuff to see what they like, what they don't like, things like that. I just wasn't, I understood the process, what generally happens and everything, so I didn't need to go crazy and hooking up with 15 billion people to figure out what I like and what I don't like. So I just was able to, I saw Kevin at the 101 and 102 classes, and I focused my eyes on him. I mean, that's the guy I was interested in, and obviously we got married. That was my life of my coming out story. It was very hard with, especially with my children, my daughters, but today we have an awesome relationship. I love my daughters, like I said, I can't even tell you how much I love my children. They're so precious to me. And, but they have come around. They're growing up, they're getting older, and this is what I'm saying to especially dads out there that have children, or you go to a church that believes a certain way, but that's not who you are. I have a very, very connection. I am a very spiritual person. I at one time thought I was going to be a pastor, and but now I'm on a different journey, and it's wonderful, and I have grown so much as a Christian man, even after coming out. But if you are a married man and you have children, it might be very, very hard to start. I mean, if you're thinking about it, it might be really difficult. If you want to leave comments to me, I will go into more detail, stuff like that. But I pretty much allow my children to, I didn't force them to be with me all the time. I wanted them to do it naturally on their own time. And that's happening. I mean, they're coming around really, really well. Like, they're a lot older now. I mean, so one's getting ready to be 16, the other one's 20 years old. So, they're, they understand, and they love me. They love Kevin. They, come over and they spend time with us and stuff like that. And so it's all good on that aspect. But anyways, that's it's been very emotional. Just like I see other brave people out there doing their coming out videos and stuff like that. It's so hard, but it's worth it. It's worth it to be able to be true to yourself and love yourself and just be able to be you. So anyways, I want to bless everybody. Thank you. And like I said, leave comments, subscribe, and Kevin will be doing a coming out video here in the next week or so. And his experience is totally different than mine, even though we both came out later in life. But it is quite interesting, his story also. And we have other stuff coming out. So keep in touch. Bye.